The authority to use force was widely dispersed throughout late medieval Europe. To those writing in the 19th century, such authority appeared to lie with a dangerous jumble of robber barons and petty tyrants. Progress seemed to be represented by the emergence of powerful monarchs who consolidated states defined by a monopoly of legitimate violence. Such figures include France's Louis XI, England's Henry VII, Hungary's Matthias Corvinus, and Spain's Ferdinand and Isabella, all of whom acceded to their thrones in the wake of prolonged civil wars and are associated with creating powerful new monarchies. 19th century cartography marked this by showing these countries as solid blocks of colour, in contrast to the colourful patchwork of the Holy Roman Empire sprawling across the heart of Europe. The differences were not as stark as the maps or grand narratives suggest, but the established view does point to the considerable diffusion of military power in the late medieval German lands, where there were multiple warlords, ranging from the emperor down to municipal councils. In German, the term Kriegsherr identifies a legitimate political authority wielding military power. It largely lacks the pejorative associations of its English counterpart, warlord, which implies the personal use of military power to assert and exercise political authority. The presence of so many warlords was distinctive, but it was not necessarily a weakness. Instead, it represented a different way to conduct war, which in turn reflected the empire's character as a polity where power was dispersed and shared, rather than monopolized centrally. All late medieval European states encountered three forms of violence: the problems of enforcing the domestic peace, providing for external defense, and regulating the martial activities of their own subjects, operating beyond the frontiers. The peculiar character of German and Swiss political structures ensured these issues were handled differently from the Western monarchies. France, Spain, and the Italian states were unusual in later 15th century Europe in possessing permanent armies maintained in peacetime as well as war. The acquisition of such forces, together with the building of the institutions and tax systems required to maintain them, has been interpreted as a necessary step towards the modern state.